Well, first off, Chief Manger, thank you, and I want to give you my utmost appreciation to all the officers of the Capitol Police who work day in and day out to ensure the safety of the legislative process. The Capitol Hill building, members of Congress, staff, and visitors to Capitol Hill. So again, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
In recent years, the radical pro-criminal D.C. City Council has systematically gutted the Metropolitan Police budget, amended the D.C. Criminal Code to allow violent criminals to be sentenced with no jail time, and attempted to lower maximum sentences for violent crime like carjackings, robberies, rapes, and even homicides. The D.C. Council's pro-crime policies were so bad that last year, Congress had to step in and enact H.J. Res. 26, my resolution of disapproval, that overturned the Council's pro-violent criminal legislation that threatened the well-being of the Washington City residents and visitors alike. Even President Biden felt the pressure and signed the legislation into law. Despite this win, the D.C. City Council is still reaping the rewards of its systematic catering to criminals in our nation's capital. During a time when violent crime has declined nationwide, our country's capital city saw violent crime shoot up 39% in 2023. And last year, there were nearly 1,000 reported incidents of carjacking, more than 6 times the number of reported incidents that were reported in 2019. Since last year, the start of the 118th Congress, we have had a member physically assaulted in an elevator in our Washington, D.C. apartment building, one carjacked at gunpoint outside his apartment building less than a mile from where we sit today. Numerous congressional staffers and reporters have been victimized across Washington, including in the neighboring Capitol Hill and Navy Yard communities. So, Chief Manger, how does the United States Capitol Police track and investigate violent criminal activity perpetrated against members of Congress and their staff when the crime occurs off the Capitol campus?
So we do keep track of that. We provide any assistance we can to MPD if they're typically the lead agency. But one of the things that I talked about earlier, and I think it was the time when you were not here, is the fact that we are working in our extended jurisdiction zone, which goes almost to Navy Yard. I'd like to expand it to cover Navy Yard, where we are patrolling. We are responding to 911 calls when we're out there, and we're assisting MPD whenever we can. We are paying close attention to the areas where we have a lot of members live, and while we have plenty of things to do here on campus, when we hear an assault call come out at Union Station, we know that there's every chance it could be a staffer, someone that was visiting here, or even a member. And so we are trying to take a higher or a greater role in terms of patrol and response in and around the Capitol complex to beyond our extended jurisdiction. And the one other thing I will say is that we also want to look at congressional events, like when we have the congressional baseball game, the softball game, that we have jurisdiction, that we have responsibility, so that we don't have to wait and call MPD, that we can take immediate action on those things. So we're working with the district to try and get that worked out so that we can have a greater role in terms of protecting our folks in and around this area.
Okay, other than Navy Yard, is there any other area where you would prefer extended jurisdiction?
I can get you that. I know my chief
I'd love to see that.
Benedict we can get you we had a map that showed a little heat area where most of the members live, so that we're looking to see if we can assist in those areas.
Okay, have you noticed a noticeable increase in criminal activity perpetrated against members of Congress in the last year or two?
Certainly the threat environment, and yeah, I mean, anecdotally, there's certainly, and look, I've been here for 3 years, so I can't compare it over long periods of time, but I can tell you that certainly anecdotally over the last couple of years, it's been a concern.
An increase?
But
a concern?
Yeah, a concern, I would say.
All right, fair enough. All right. Okay, so I understand that on numerous occasions, as you said, that Capitol Police officers have been dispatched to assist Metro Police officers in curtailing criminal activity occurring in neighborhoods surrounding our Capitol complex, including an incident in February where U.S. Capitol Police officers responded to a shooting of a housing authority officer about a mile from the Capitol. And just last month, officers assisted MPD in a manhunt for a shooting suspect at an apartment complex just a couple of thousand feet from the Longworth office building. So does this increase in criminal incidents outside the Capitol complex strain the resources of your department?
Our resources are strained with or without that, but I would say that this is a good investment for us to take on to add to assist MPD with these kinds of things. We had just a few weeks ago, there was a guy throwing rocks at a front door of a house. It was the neighbor of a member of the Senate, and we were the first ones there. We took the guy into custody, and that's the way it should be. If we're close by, and when we hear a call come out, we should be responding, we should be assisting, and oftentimes we can resolve cases like that very quickly.
Well, that's good to hear, because I think MPD right now needs all the help they can get because of their lack of budget and because of their lack of priority by the city council. So